Madonna pretty much proved to us that she could do it all. And she does have a measure of talent. No one's disputing that. And at one point in one of these videos, she's like, "Are you ready?" And she's spinning, "Are you ready?" Spinning, "Are you ready?" And I'm like,
Are you ready? Are you ready?
yeah, I'm ready. What are you going to show us? At what point are we going to just restrain ourselves a bit and kind of move forward and try to build a new legacy, a different legacy, one where you're not compelled to show us your half-naked butt cheeks all the time? Because we don't need to see it. We don't want to see it. And she shouldn't want to show it to us. Okay, so speaking of boring and annoying, we have to talk about Madonna and J-Lo, just for a bit. We've talked about Madonna before on this channel. God bless her, God love her. Madonna has been parading in the streets half naked since around the time I've been 10 years old. And I'm now 52. I think it's time to hang it up, Madonna. I really do. There's no denying that you were not, at one time, a cultural icon, very, very famous singer, actress extraordinaire, dancer. I mean, Madonna pretty much proved to us that she could do it all. And she does have a measure of talent. No one's disputing that. Okay, I've purchased Madonna tapes when I was younger, and then as I got older, CDs. Okay, I loved the album Confessions on a Dance Floor that came out, 2005? That was one of my favorite Madonna albums. I absolutely loved that album. Kudos to you, Madge, kudos to you. I think when that album came out, she was already, I think, in her early or mid-50s at that point. Still rocking it, still dancing. Go on with your bad self. But I think what really started annoying me about Madonna was when I made that last video on my channel when I was talking about her, I caught her in a interview with Jay Shetty. He's questionable as it is, but Jay Shetty. And what she was doing, she was talking about basically how out there right now, everyone is just basically married and attached and obsessed with the superficial. It's all about likes. It's all about clicks. It's all about building these fake online personas, and you want more and more and more and more attention. And if you don't get it, you're going to feel like you're going to crumble. And she talks about how she used to be like that, especially in her earlier years, growing up as a teenager in her 20s and her 30s. She basically talks about the tiresome and fruitless search of always wanting more in the way of fame and attention. And she basically tells Jay Shetty that that's a hollow existence, that, it's never enough and you're never going to find peace in all of that. And I remember watching that thinking, good on you, Madonna, good on you. It seems like she's getting older. I mean, she's going to be 70 years old. She was born in, let me see, I have it in my notes. She was born in 1958. That means she's going to be 70 years old in 2028. So I was watching this podcast interview thinking, good for you. I really do like how she seems to have come full circle, because Madonna wasn't anything if she wasn't an attention seeker. She was deliberately, in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and like the whole time that she was kind of getting more attention, she was that time's version of being a rage baiter. She really, really was. To her, the more shocking she was, the more currency she had. She was living for that. So for her to give this interview, I was like, good on you. And I remember after watching that interview, I thought, I've never been to her Instagram page. I want to go and check out what Madonna's doing these days. Is she going to tell us about her spiritual journey to, becoming more self-actualized? And okay, so I go over to the Instagram page.
If we get caught up in the belief system that our value in the world is based on people loving us or other people's approval, or how much money you have, or how many fabulous outfits you have, or how many followers you have on Instagram, those things don't make us happy. Those things don't bring us peace. the time you take out of every day to stop and take stock, like contemplate. We live in a very busy, chaotic world. Lots of noise, lots of distraction. Everybody has to be visually stimulated all the time. Like there's no peace. There's no quiet. We're not comfortable being quiet with ourselves and looking inward and asking ourselves, why am I here? Or what am I doing? Or what is my intention in this specific choice I'm making right now? You know, the question is, are you aware enough? Are you awake enough to find out what that reason is? Like, why did this happen to me? What is my lesson?
You ready for this? Mad Madge, Madonna 67 exposes her nipples in completely see-through lingerie. Brace yourselves. This is what we're doing. At 67, seeing that Jay Shetty interview and then seeing this, to me, makes it 10 times worse. Because at age 67, is this really what we want from Madonna? She said on the Jay Shetty podcast, we get caught up in the belief system that our value in the world is based on people loving us or other people's approval or how much money you have or how many followers you have on Instagram. Riddle me this. If she really was self-actualized and not seeking our approval, because to me, I'm sorry, doesn't scream someone that is not seeking external validation. I don't want this for her. I just want her to cover it up. And I want her to show a little grace and a little class and not engage in this because we don't need to see it. We don't want to see it. And she shouldn't want to show it to us. So she's up to the same old shtick, different decade. This woman is an attention seeker to the extreme. She's just an attention monger. That's all she wants. It doesn't matter if she's showing us her boobies or if she's showing us her buns or her feminine nether region and it's all in our face. She's going to do everything she can to make sure that you're looking in her direction, okay? And it's just getting more and more just creepy to watch. And when she did that little impromptu concert in Times Square about a week or so ago, I know a lot of people are talking about it online and we're all probably sick of looking at it. But at this point, I really do feel like I have to just interject my 2 cents here because, you know, I did do that whole video on her talking about this very thing. And here she is again. I mean, it's supposedly in promotion of this Confessions of a Dance Floor due, like I guess the sequel album to the first Confessions. But do we really need to see this? We've already established that the woman needs serious prayer in addition to several long-sleeved outfits, long-sleeve coats, pants, all of it. She just needs to cover it up. But here she is again, prancing around in a outfit that, you know, a 20-something or 30-something should be wearing on stage, like a Sabrina Carpenter or whatever. I even think Taylor Swift is getting too old to be wearing what she's wearing on stage, my opinion. But she's dancing around half naked. She's got these weirdo jerky dance moves and she's not moving around on stage a lot. But that's because the woman's almost 70 years old. She's probably fearful that she's gonna fall and hit her freaking head while she's on stage. I mean, she is a geriatric dancer at this point. We gotta call it what it is. And, you know, it's okay to admit that you're getting old, Madonna. It's okay to want to hang up your hat and not be half naked and doing this now. I mean, what is wrong with these people who are so obsessed with chasing this youth and this attention to the exclusion of their very souls, reputations, and they're just embarrassing themselves. And, you know, there's so many people that look at Madonna and they're like, oh, she's an icon. Oh, she's this. Oh, she's that. You know, she's out there doing her thing. She's the ultimate in femininity and she's breaking all these rules regarding age. And, you know, if you don't like it, you're a hater and it's ageism. Well, not really. It's just really at a certain point, don't you want to command something other than shock? Don't you want to command a little respect? You're not really going to show us how worthy of respect and admiration you are while sitting with your legs open, your crotch hanging out, and you're on this wheel that's spinning and spinning. She just looked like a 70-year-old rotisserie chicken, spinning around, spinning around, spinning around. And at one point in one of these videos, she's like, "Are you ready?" And she's spinning. "Are you ready?" Spinning. "Are you ready?" And I'm like,
Are you ready? Are you ready?
yeah, I'm ready. What are you going to show us? Oh, okay. You're just spinning. I mean, it's like, well, of course she's just going to spin because she's old. She's old and she shouldn't be up there in the first place. Do you remember when Adele first came out? I think she is beyond talented and gorgeous. But what I'm saying is, I remember when Adele came out, when she first did, and she was always so modestly dressed, but she was really beautiful and she was elegant. She had the hair, she had the makeup, she had the presentation, but she wasn't out there trying to shock. She wasn't out there trying to get attention through her body and through just these like superficial ways. She would just stand on a stage in like a modest black dress, hold a microphone and just belt it out, you know? And everyone was like, holy crap, who is this? And she is really smart in the sense that, I mean, she's changed her image somewhat, but she was smart in the sense that she didn't need all the bells and the whistles and the gimmicks to have people look at her and go, wow, what a talent, and start admiring and respecting the whole presentation. And I just don't understand why at this point, with the platform that Madonna has, that she doesn't just pack it up, cover it up, and just get real with us. We don't need to see grandma on a stage with her crotch hanging out. We don't need to see it. And, you know, even if I had a perfect body and all the money and all the talent and the career that she did, I would still feel really uncomfortable doing that just because I don't want to be known for that. Sure, make whatever mistakes you're going to make in your 20s and your 30s and you're acting and running all amok. But at what point, especially for her, she has children, right? What legacy is she wanting to leave for her kids? She wants to leave this creepy half-naked Instagram grid. It's just so sad, you guys. What do you think of this? I don't know, guys. I don't know. What were you thinking watching that video? It's just second-hand embarrassment. And you know, when you go to her YouTube channel that's got that official 20-minute video posted from that impromptu NYC concert from Times Square, you look at all the comments and you can really tell that it's just all her sycophant fans that are going to support her no matter what she does. I mean, she could go on stage, get a pot of baby bunnies and boil them and they would love it. They would love it. I mean, let's call it what it is. But the normal, reasonable individual who's watching a 70-year-old half-naked woman gyrate and show us her bits on a stage, spinning around, going, "Are you ready?" It's just, it's secondhand embarrassing, and it's sad. And I don't wish that for her. God love her. She grew up without a mom. She's had a lot of things happen to her in her early life, trauma-wise that way. But since then, since she got famous, she's been afforded a lot of privilege, a lot of money, a lot of fame, all of it, admiration. And you'd think that she'd want to take the platform and use it for a force for good, not a force for half-nakedness, burlesque type of creepy weirdness that's bordering on psychotic. I mean, what is she going to show us when she's 80? Is she going to be, you know, in her bedroom with her Instagram camera going, showing us a striptease while she's on her walker or her cane or something? I don't know, but I want to move on to J-Lo. J-Lo is another one that I've found myself getting super annoyed with more and more as the years went by. And I think the thing for me that always kind of had me giving her the side eye was the fact that she was married so many times and divorced so many times. And I understand the search for love and all of that, but when you get married and divorced so many times, it really signals that you're not looking at the institution as something that should be precious, right? I view it as a Catholic as a sacrament, but I understand that there's a lot of people that aren't religious that don't look at it in a sacramental Christian way. There are people that just look at it as, I love someone, I want to build a life. And, that in of itself can be aspirational and holy. But when you're doing it so many times and you're changing husbands like you're changing underwear, you just will get a reputation for being frivolous, for being narcissistic, and just not really caring about how you're looking. And that's pretty obvious. And I think a couple of months back, I remember a story where Chris Judd, who was, I believe, her second husband, or was it her first husband? I think it was her first husband. He kind of came out and was like, like she contributed to the demise of that marriage. So, there's people that have spoken out about her that have actually been in relationships with her, but we've all kind of seen the type of performer that J-Lo is. She loves to get attention, still I think she's 56, still at 56, much like Madonna, on the stage, half naked, wiggling her booty, showing us her beautiful hair extensions and her glorious skin and her body and all that. And yes, the woman does look amazing in all of it, but at what point are we going to just restrain ourselves a bit and kind of move forward and try to build a new legacy, a different legacy, one where you're not compelled to show us your half naked butt cheeks all the time? It's just weird. So the reason why I'm even talking about her was because remember how, this past year she got divorced to Ben Affleck, and it seems to me like Ben Affleck is just trying to throw money at the problem. He gave her that house that they purchased that was like, I don't know how many millions upon millions, I guess, that they're having trouble selling. He just gave that back to her and said, have at it. I'm out like trout. But I mean, he's a whole other topic, but it just seems like she's a train wreck relationship wise. And it definitely seems like for all of her constant messaging that she's, a strong, independent woman who's out carving her own legacy and career and persona and all that, she doesn't really seem like that behind the scenes. When I watched that documentary that she did around the time that she was still with Ben Affleck, kind of like, what does she call it? The love story or something? I don't even remember what the heck it was called. If I remember, I'll put it on the screen. But everyone told her, don't make this project. It's narcissistic. It's self-indulgent. She had to fund that entire movie, that entire project, because nobody wanted to fund it because they knew it would be a big fail. And ta-da, it was. So not only did that film crash, but the marriage crashed too. But it's all just an exercise in self-indulging and just not seeing the forest for the trees and not seeing that you're perpetuating this whole this life cycle you've got going on, where she's constantly looking for outside validation and happiness with this career, with these failed marriages, with all of this, with this on the stage half naked showing us her bits. We don't need to see it. So then now she's got this new movie on Netflix called Office Romance. And as soon as she started doing the press junket for this film, I think she went on the Today Show a couple weeks ago or so and went with that guy on the show. What is his name? This Brett Goldstein. I wrote it down here for myself. And they were talking about the chemistry that they had. And I guess she had said he was one of the best kissers she had ever had on screen. And they were all like, like kind of fawning over each other. But then at the same time, trying to say that there's no love interest between them in real life, that they're just enjoying working together and da-da-da-da. And I'm thinking that is such BS. I guarantee you, in my opinion, there is or was something going on. You cannot tell me that a person like a J-Lo, someone like her who has had a reputation in the past of attaching herself like Velcro to a majority of the people she works with, dancers she's danced with, co-stars, people she's acted with, all of it, okay? I bet you anything there's something going on. And if it did happen, I bet you it happened. If it's happening and it's going to be announced, just watch for it. Just wait and watch for it, because she's one of those people where it's the constant outside validation, And it's really sad. It's really sad. I, am a Gen Xer. Madonna's not a Gen Xer. She's a baby boomer, but J-Lo is definitely a Gen Xer. And a lot of Gen Xers kind of pride ourselves on just being straight shooters. Tell us like it is, grow up, give it to us straight. And I would just love to see J-Lo and Madonna just cut the crap, cover it up, and give it to us straight. Move on into the next chapter. And that movie, Office Romance, I tried to watch it last night, you guys, and I only got about 25 minutes in. I couldn't. It was so unbelievably boring. She looks very nice in it. She's aging very well. This co-star of hers, this Goldstein guy, he's a Brit. Sounds like he's a Brit. He's a very nice, attractive man. Nothing to say about them as actors or anything, but this vehicle, this film that they got thrown into, the dialogue is just flat. It goes nowhere. The supposed development of this romance, so-called, it's dragging its feet and dragging its feet. And it's one of these movies now where I've noticed that movies pretty much, and this is the first movie I noticed it in. I remember when I saw Old School back in 2003, and it was that really kind of raunchy frat boy humor. And then like Wedding Crashers came out, and all these different movies came out, 40-Year-Old Virgin and all that. And it was all this really kind of crass frat boy type humor. And I'll admit, I watched those movies and thought that they were kind of funny. As I got a little bit older, and especially once the kids came around, I was like, okay, after a while, it can just get really old and tired and boring. But it seems like for the last almost 25 years in Hollywood, that's been the constant underpinning in a lot of these movies. And tell me if you agree. It's always this gross, kind of frat boy, yucky humor that just is raunchy and kind of inserted for no reason. And then they'll keep it going almost as like this like ongoing gag throughout the whole movie, or sometimes even in whole scenes. Where there was a scene in this office romance where they're talking about a word. I won't say the word. I'll say see you next Tuesday, okay? Y'all know what that means. If you know, you know. And apparently, according to this character that this Brit guy is playing in Britain, it's not seen in the same offensive way that it's seen in the US. And he's trying to explain this to the HR director or whatever in the movie. But he keeps like saying, oh, I could say it in this context, and I could say it in that context, and this. And it's just like, it's always these running gag frat boy type of jokes that they keep going. And it's like, it's old, cut scene, like we get it. It's just all sad. I guess what I'm trying to say is I look at Madonna, I look at J-Lo, and I'm like, can we just grow up already? Grow up already and just cut this crap. J-Lo, you need to come out with an album and a tour and a movie that's worthy of you and your talent. Some would argue that she's not really that big of a talent, that she can't really sing. She's kind of like a subpar dancer, subpar actor, but at least she could kind of do all of them modestly well in order to be the success that she was. I think a lot of it has to do with the way that they look. Madonna and J-Lo are two beautiful women, especially when they were younger, so they got attention that way. But as you get older and as your looks slip, you kind of have to pivot a little bit. You gotta have to pivot. And J-Lo just needs the type of comeback that would be really nice and dignified. And like I said, take her into the next few decades. Take her into the sunset, but in a admirable, respectful kind of way. And I just don't see that coming from these women. These women like J-Lo that are in their mid-50s, and even like these women like Madonna that are pushing 70. It just doesn't seem like anyone wants to grow up. It's really sad. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.